Hello, Divine Ones. This is Ashley for FD 1111 Ministries. This is the new moon in Libra prophetic reading. So I did already publish the new moon in Libra blog post, including in-depth journal prompts. So you can check that link out either below this video, or if you are listening on the podcast, which you can find on all major podcast platforms, it will be listed in the show notes. Okay, so we are in Libra season, yes. And here with the spirit animal energy that came through from my Soul Sisters deck is the penguin. And the penguin is both black and white. And that speaks to duality, polarity, the opposites, magneticism. I hear magnets that come together but also can repel each other if flipped and turned the opposite direction. Okay, so I did do a breakdown of Libra season and Libra energy. You can also find that listed down below. So we are in the second decan of Libra. I feel like these energies are closely related. The Two of Swords energy and the Three of Swords energy. As the Two of Swords, she or he is one that is led by the inner knowing. With the Two of Swords energy, this is one that is very intuitive. Instead of sitting and doing nothing, like most people will look on the outside and see a person just sitting there, not doing anything, they must be wasting time, or they must be scared, whatever the case may be, that this person is intuitive. They're sitting back and they're waiting for divine instruction. The hands are placed crossed over the heart with the two swords, one going to the left, the other going to the right. This is divine unity. This is harmony. This is balance. That's the reason why this is the first decan of Libra, because of the scales, because of the balance. If you can see the harmony with the feet placement, both feet are outward. Usually when you look at cards, like if we look here on the Justice card, you have one foot showing and the other foot hidden. That's a bit of either duality, polarity, but it's also esoteric. Something that is hidden, something that one cannot see. And is shrouded in mystery, mysticism. Here we have both of the feet placed outwardly. That is straightforward. Like it's nothing that is hidden, nothing that is secret. Everything is out on the table. This is the contract card. This is two people, two parties coming together and making an agreement. And that agreement is basically everything is out on the table. Nothing is hidden. Move forward at your personal discretion. Moving to the Three of Swords here, where we have the two swords and then we have the sword coming through the middle. This is like the division of that contract. It's like someone that has broken a cosmic contract. You have the clouds, the rain in the background, the heart with the three swords penetrating that heart. I feel like right now this is a time to really guard your emotional body, allowing yourself to sit back and let things unfold. I'm gonna pull a couple cards. So in the blog post, I talk about Aries. Chiron is retrograde currently in the sign of Aries. This is the Three of Swords energy all day. Here we have the wounded healer. Christ was a wounded healer as he sacrificed his carnality for ascension, so everyone can have that ascension. So the Christ consciousness, Christ, the higher mind frame. So all of us can have that mind frame. We have access to that if we sacrifice our carnality. So with that, in the sacred heart of Christ, that we taking on the wounded healer energy, and everyone has a wound that needs to be healed. Now is the time to really go within the Two of Swords and figure out what that wound is, if you already do not know it. If you do, then take a moment and allow yourself to really feel that energy, the Three of Swords. What is holding me back from my true blessings? What's holding me back from experiencing truth and freedom? We have, from another Soul Sisters deck, the Seeker of Water, and then we have the Queen of Air. So I feel like what's going on, we have two different energies that work in the same area. They work in the same space. With the Seeker of Water and the Queen of Air, these are two different, could be two different feminine energies, two different women or females, or it could be someone that is in this type of energy. It could be a water sign. It could be an air sign. I also hear a fire sign. But I hear addressing. Something needs to be addressed. Some childhood wounding. Like something was broken. Some cosmic contract was broken. And that could have been with a divine marriage. Someone probably stepped out or was unfaithful or broke the covenant between the two. But I really feel like this is taking it back to like childhood wounding. We have here feminine force, another feminine energy. We have all these different feminine energies here. And Venus right now is still in the sign of Scorpio and will be there throughout the new moon. And this is referring to deep wounding, deep healing. The next day she moves into the sign of Sagittarius. So this, with the Sagittarius energy and what I'm feeling, is like a person that's finding and discovering their wounds, and now they're aligning their bow and arrow, you know, the symbol for Sagittarius, aligning that bow and arrow to hit the target on the head. There's an enemy, and that enemy is the inner me. Something that has been coming up, but you have been pushing it down. Something uncomfortable, something you don't want to face. Could have been something that you push way deep down in your subconscious mind, but it's still lingering around. And it's what I see like a divine feminine. She's on the hunt, like at the seeker of water. She's looking off and she notices something. At first she was there just like peacefully listening to the water, feeling the warm breeze and sun on her skin, and she happens to glance over and she sees a shadow. And so she goes after it. She has now her bow and her arrow in hand, ready to fire. Usually she would not, but however, throughout this, not just this new moon, but this is continuing on until the rest of the year, she's taking out these enemies one by one. So the shadow self, these shadow figures, are emanations of our own imagination, things that have, I hear folly, things that have no hope without you giving them hope. They have no truth unless you give it truth. So it's going to be time. Maybe you can do a ritual. I will post one tomorrow. Maybe you can do a ritual. Maybe you can just write down some of the things that you have noticed over this Chiron and Aries period, and put it all out on paper and start to eliminate them one by one. They're all folly. They're all lies. They have to be placed out on the table so you can see just how ridiculous they are. These shadow entities. Whether you believe in shadow figures or you're just taking this as a analogy, it doesn't really matter. If they're still affecting your energy, energetic parasites, etc., then they need to be eradicated. They need to be hunted down and taken out. We have here 10, renewal and feminine force, Proverbs 31, divine feminine energy at the fullest. All right. I think these ones just fell off by accident. Okay. We have here 4, the 4 of Swords. This could come up. This energy can become more prominent during the last phase of Libra season. We do have that Aries full moon, and like I was saying, Chiron is in Aries. Those wounds could come up and start to fester, and you have been just medicating them, like putting a little ointment on them so they wouldn't hurt. But the reason why the pain is there is because it's a source of the pain. We may be used to taking a little Tylenol here, a little aspirin, putting a Band-Aid on a wound that clearly needs attention. It needs your affection, I hear. It needs your kindness, your understanding. This is all within you. Okay, well, let's see. We have the Judgment card. Being judgment and critical of oneself, those inner voices, those inner characters. The Queen of Earth, and then we have transformation. I was just thinking about butterflies earlier today. I will link my spirit animal breakdown of a butterfly below. Okay, so being very critical and judgmental of yourself. This is all inner workings. I feel like this is a lot of transformation that's happening within you. The merging of the subconscious and the conscious. The mind is going through a huge transformation that's affecting your energetic body, affecting your emotional body. So these swords may never go anywhere, per se. That's the thing about the wounded healer. He continued with his wound. He was able to heal others, but he was never able to heal himself. So I'm not saying that you won't have healing. Those scars may never go anywhere. So a scar was once an open wound that just healed. So those scars may never go anywhere. That's a better way of how to put it. But those scars are reminders of what you have transformed out of, what you have transitioned into. It's a reminder of how strong you are in your inner power. And those scars will remind you to be humble, to be understanding and considerate of others, and to also energetically recognize when others are going through that pain, that are struggling with those open, festering wounds. So you can go in and help them how the way you feel led to help them. The Seven of Hearts, the Six of Hearts. And I have the Queen of Air. So we have the Queen of Air, Queen of Air again. It could be a air sign, divine feminine. And we have the Queen of Earth. We have the Six of Cups and the Seven of Cups. The Six of Cups is a form of an emotional fulfillment. It's a form of an opportunity, especially here with the Seven of Cups. It's an opportunity that has been presented for an emotional baptism. With this rain in the background of the Three of Swords, that's a form of baptism. I think it was 2 readings ago where the land of milk and honey, and it was like the Spirit raining down on those divine ones. And the Spirit raining down was a refresher, it was anointing, and it was a cleansing. Being prepared for it to be ushered into the land of milk and honey, the land of promise. That's what it all feels like. But you have to shed this self-judgment and being very critical of yourself and critical of others, whether you are conscious of it or not. That penguin, the black and white, the polarities, a lot of the shadow aspects being stuffed inside of a small cube in a small closet tucked deep, deep, deep away, that you have to bring those out. You know, they may never go anywhere. Those memories may never go anywhere. But how do you transform those memories and turn them into a positive transmutation, transfiguration? I feel like I should bring up the Mount of Transfiguration where Christ went on the mountain and he transfigured. So that mountain, a mountain in the text will represent the highest point of the body, which would be the head, and what resides in there. All sacred activity happens on the mountains. Really, really sacred activity. Moses on the mountain, Christ on the mountain. You know, all this stuff happens on the mountain. So that mountain, in this powerful, in these highly spiritual events that happen on these mountains, that is representing the third eye and everything that happens in the mind. So the mind is the battlefield. How do you slay those demons, quote unquote? I'm doing the finger thing. So those demons are the enemies, and the enemies are the inner me's. So you have to go to the top of the mountain, the mind, go into the Holy of Holies, which will be like in the third eye, and the imagination, and the void, and the face of the deeps, and transform things. The Three of Swords. The swords are thoughts. They're thoughts that implant in the emotional body, which will be the heart, that eventually comes out of the mouth, because the swords also represent the tongue, what we say out of our mouth. So you have to be mindful, mindful of the things that you're saying about yourself, to yourself. And it was something like, who's saying things around you? Okay. So let me see. Yeah, I believe that is all for this message. Don't forget to check out the blog post for the new moon in Libra, in-depth journal prompts. You can all find that listed down below. All of the cards that I use, as far as my Soul Sisters cards, are listed down below. Patreon membership listed down below. Prayer link listed down below. And I will talk to you guys on the next one. All right, peace.